All right. How's it going, Andrea? Josh, good to see you again. Also, Tom. Hey, Tom. What I want to ask, I want to stick with this whole topic of emotion. I think it's really important that we continue to identify who we are. And if you've listened to the other podcasts that I've had, we're always talking about letting go, identifying ourselves, knowing who we are, right? We've been laying into it. I've been talking about a lot of that kind of stuff. Basically, the premise is you are more than your body, your mind, and your heart. You are not your emotions or thoughts. That's very important. It's a practice. It's something you have to continually think about every single day. I think about it every day of who I am. That way I go out into the world. I drum up self-confidence by having an expectancy to be treated well. I expect to be treated well by others around me. I know who I am, and whenever I experience an emotion or a bad thought, I understand what those are. And by knowing who I am, that I am the self, I am the one aware of what's happening. I'm aware of the emotion. I'm aware of the thoughts, meaning I am not those thoughts. I am not those emotions, really helps you be able to let go and process what is actually happening to you. I remember I thought of an analogy at one point. I think I read it in a book called The Untethered Soul by Michael Singer. He talked about who you are as seated high, right? And if you're looking down at your life as the self, and you're looking at yourself from a perspective and all the things that are happening, and there's chaos down there, there's emotion down at the bottom, and you're just kind of looking at it from a peak or up top of somewhere, seeing your life at a macro viewpoint, and you start to see trouble in the water, and you start to see things happen. And most people, when we're not aware that we are at a level where we can analyze our life and see them from a perspective higher than where we are, what we tend to do is we tend to take our awareness and consciousness and we go down to the problems. And when you are that close to chaos and that close to issues and problems, there's no way you could solve them because you can only see it from a linear perspective. That's why believing in God or believing in the universe or a higher power is so important. It shows us that there is something above us, a creator that shows us that they see it from the beginning to the end. They do not see it on a linear path where there's all prediction and no real data or no understanding. Our higher power, our God, sees it from a place I see it like a horizontal. I see the beginning, I see the end, I see after, I see it all. And that really helps us to understand that we can also come in alignment with that kind of thought pattern because we are a part of that. And I think that is incredibly important. Another thing, so what I'm saying is when you're up at the top peak, we go down and we're experiencing emotion and chaos, and then we start identifying ourselves with this emotion and with this chaos, and then we start identifying ourselves with the resulting thoughts of those emotions and chaos, and then we're just lost, and then we're just depressed, and then we're confused, and we don't know how to get out because we've forgotten what we are. But I'm here to tell you, to wake you up, to say you are not those things. You are not the problems you're experiencing. You are not the emotions you are feeling. You can become aware of them. So wake up. Become aware of these things. Understand that you are not them. Get your ass up and get back up into that seat and start watching it all play out and watch it calm down. For example, if you're in a pool or if you're in a pond or a lake, and a lot of us, we create our own problems in our life by our own actions to try to solve problems, right? So let's say rocks are in your hand in the pond, and you want to solve your problems, and these problems are in the form of ripples that have been caused by you or maybe somebody else, and the ripples hit your body, and they hit your consciousness, or they just hit your being, or whatever you want to call yourself. It's hitting you, right? We tend to flail. We tend to, oh my gosh, problems, chaos, emotion, thoughts. Oh, I can't handle it. And we start deflecting and resisting and throwing and fighting, and we never get out. Where really what you're doing is you're fighting a battle you can't win because you're just creating more of the same thing. You're creating more issues by ripples. The only way to stop the ripples from coming at you is to be still, to let go, to be patient, to withstand the pain. So, understand that you have the ability, no matter how dark it gets, to slowly, every single day, and if it needs to be every hour, if it needs to be every 10 minutes, to remind yourself that you have the ability to get up, go up, and look at your life from an overview and understand that you are not those things. To be silent and quiet enough to understand these ripples will go away, and then eventually the pond will be silent, and you'll be so in tune with how to deal with it. It doesn't matter what happens in the pond. Waves and storms will come, things will happen, but you will be still, and you'll be able to withstand many different things. And then you won't be too busy in the chaos to miss out on the blessing or the great things that are coming for you in your life. The only time you're ever going to receive great, fulfilling things that come to you in your life in this lifetime is if you have a room for them. Letting go creates room. No one can work in your life. No great thing can come into a full chaotic life. If you just think about it practically, it's absolutely true. How could you become rich when you can't sustain any of the money that you have now? How can we become peaceful amidst chaos? What we really want, the self, who you are inside, wants peace. But the only way to get peace is to be still for a long time. Consistently practice, and when you do that, you'll start to see your mind open, your heart open, and all the things will shut the hell up and allow you to be in charge. Because truly, if you really want to read some extra books and read some things, your body has a mind of its own. Your heart has a mind of its own. Your mind is a mind of its own, but you aren't those things. And we've trained these three things to have things and be used to things and addicted to things. Our body gets addicted to substances and feelings and emotion, and our heart gets addicted to emotion, and it breaks and comes back, and we keep doing the same things over and over again, re-breaking our heart. Our mind is addicted to thoughts that are composed of these emotions. And so when you cut them off and you be still, what you end up feeling is the detox, the addiction, or the process of them coming out of you. And so what I'm going to ask you to do is feel the pain. Allow it to come up out of you, and allow you to be silent in those times. And eventually you'll start to see it all open, and they'll give up. Those three things, the heart, the mind, the body, they'll just give up and they'll come in line. They are used to getting what they want, and they're not going to get what they want anymore because they're not in charge. You are. And once you have them under your charge and you are in dominion over the things that were given to you, body, mind, heart, once you have that authority over them, then they work for you. Then you have health, right? You have thoughts that are awesome and sharp and clean and pure and amazing, and just you're wise and smart beyond your years. And you're emotionally stable. Nothing can move you at that point because they are in alignment with the leader, the person, the soul, the self, which then is owned or created by God. Have a good week.